Call the meeting of the Kent County Board of Commissioners to order. It is Thursday, August 13th. First item on the agenda, well, the second item, is the roll call. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Commissioners Bujak.
Present.
Burl.
Here.
DeBoer. Here. Minority Vice Chair Faber.
Here.
Commissioners Halstead. Here. Hennessy.
Here.
Hildenbrand.
Here.
Coleman. LeGrand.
Here.
McLeod.
Present.
Merchant. Morales.
Present.
Morse.
Here.
Oliver King.
Here.
Pakla.
Here.
Ponstein.
Here.
Sparks. Steck.
Here.
Vice Chair Teal.
Here.
Commissioner Womack.
Here.
Chair Green.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 18 members present, 3 absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you. We will move on to agenda item number 3, our invocation, and I will call on Commissioner Morse. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. As we begin today, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on something that has shaped Kent County for generations, agriculture, and the people who dedicate their lives to it. This past week, many of us had the opportunity to experience the Kent County Youth Fair. It reminds us that agriculture is about much more than crops in a field or animals in a barn. It's about family, tradition, responsibility, and working hard for something that might take months or even generations to come to fruition. Our farmers and farm families are part of the backbone of our culture here in Kent County. They carry forward traditions of hard work, perseverance, caring for the land, and serving others, while reminding us to do the work that is ours to do and trust God with the things that we cannot control. We see those same lessons being passed on through programs like the 4-H and the FFA. Young people learn to show up when they're needed. They learn to care for something beyond themselves. They manage money. They respect others. They celebrate their successes with humility, and they take pride in a job well done. But yet none of this happens alone. Behind every young person are parents, grandparents, volunteers, mentors, neighbors, and community members, all giving their time so that another generation can learn these lessons. As a parent who's had the privilege to experience some of the fair alongside my own children, I recognize that many of the lessons that we're teaching at the fair actually are just as important as what we find here in our life in public service. Show up, do the work, take responsibility, and keep growing. And may we all remember those lessons long after the fair is over. May we remain grateful servants, good neighbors, and faithful stewards of all God has given us, leading with humility, valuing hard work and personal responsibility, protecting opportunity, and remembering that strong communities are built by people willing to serve one another and future generations. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Morse. We will move on to agenda item number 5, which is the public hearing for the fiscal year 2027 budget. Do I need a motion to open the public hearing? Yes, you do. Okay. Yes. I need a motion to open the public hearing for the budget.
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Teal, supported by, I think, Commissioner LeGrand. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. We are public hearing for the budget for fiscal year 27 is now open. I'll hand it over to Al.
Good morning, Chair Green and Commissioners. We're getting near to the end of the budget saga for 2026-27. Today we're holding the public hearing after I do the budget presentation. This is a budget calendar, so you can see that we're about 3 more steps in the process. We'll have Finance Committee action next week on grants, action on the budget, and then the board on 8/27 will have the budget before presented for approval. Our mission at Kent County Through responsible budgeting and thoughtful planning, Kent County government is committed to providing resources and services that promote a high quality of life for the entire community. And our pillars in implementing that mission are to focus on economic prosperity, high quality of life, service delivery excellence, and engagement and partnerships. This chart shows the sources by category for our budget revenue for our all funds budget, so general fund and all the other funds. And as you can see, property taxes remain the highest source of revenue at about 36.5%. And then charges for services, 18.9%, and it goes all the way down to investments, rents, and royalties down at 1.7%. Every tax dollar is precious. Every tax dollar represents a dollar that an individual resident or a business could be spending on something else. And so I'm not, with this slide, trying to minimize at all the importance of every tax dollar collected by Kent County and the responsibility to be wise with how those funds are spent. Relatively to the total tax capture in the county, by all taxing jurisdictions, you can see that by far schools have the largest tax capture at 35%, and then that local governments, so our cities, townships, villages, come in at about 25%, and then the state education tax is next at 14%, ISD is close behind at 13%, and then we have our county government at 10% of the total tax levy and collection in within Kent County. When we look at our millage compared to the top 5 counties in Michigan, we can see that Kent County is less than Wayne, Genesee, and Macomb, and we are more than Oakland County for our operational millage rate. So what does this mean for a home with a taxable value of $100,000? That's a market value of $200,000. I'm guessing those homes are fewer and far between to find in Kent County, but as a measure that's been used consistently for years to express what that tax burden is on an individual homeowner, if you do have a home that's taxed at $100,000, those taxes would be $593.49 for the upcoming year. Kent County continues to be one of the few counties in the state, just a handful, and really nationally a few counties in the nation to hold a AAA credit rating. This, of course, is the #1 measure of our fiscal stability. And believe me, as I've gotten to know rating analysts, they know everything about us. They know how we govern ourselves, how quickly we adopt new financial standards, how decision-making is done in a crisis. They have analysts that are assigned to review a certain set of counties full-time, and they know us very well. And so this is, to be able to have ratings like this over many decades is truly a huge compliment to many generations of boards of commissioners and administration and fiscal staff. So our uses, our expenses by function. As you can see from the chart, our largest single area would be public safety at 26% of our total all funds budget. And then we see after that a tie between our social services areas of the county and general government and debt. And then we see how it works to judicial at 11.3 and public works at 10.3. So it's just a good chart to show how Kent County government allocates money to what sectors of our expenditure areas of the budget. As we look at the sheriff, the public safety spend area, we can see that Sheriff and Corrections is in at $59.8 million, Road Patrol 39.2, and then right on down to our Fire Commission at $1.8 million. In the judicial area, a total of almost $79 million. We have Circuit Court at $22.6 million, Friend of the Court 13.3, prosecutor 12.8, public defender 22.3, district court 4.5, and probate court 3.5. Social services. Childcare leads the way with $40 million. Senior services comes next with $18.7 million. Community wellness, $14.7 million. Health clinics at $13.3 million. Community action, 7. Other social services, $5.3 million. And then right on down the line to mental health and medical examiner at $2 million each. Our general government in debt, we see risk management and insurance, $55 million, facilities management, $23.6 million, debt services at $11.5, IT, information technology at $11 million, policy and administration at $8.9 million, treasurer 5.6, clerk 5.4, fiscal services 5.0, human resources 3.2, and our Bureau of Equalization in at $1.9 million. Recreation and culture, the zoo, $10.4 million, parks $9.8 million, and museums $6.5. So the zoo and museum obviously come from the publicly voted millage. Community and economic development, $22 million, register of deeds, $1 million, cooperative extension, $500,000, down to agricultural preservation, which is $0.1 million. Our public works spend is $70.2 million. The lion's share of that comes from ratepayers in the county. Drain Commission, $1.3 million. That makes up our public works spending. So in summary, the budget continues the county's commitment to a high quality of life for its residents. The budget supports the economic prosperity of Kent County, and it adheres to sound fiscal management and board policies. The budget invests in services to improve efficiency and to provide service delivery excellence to the residents of Kent County. And most important, the budget is balanced. So the board is scheduled to take action on the proposed budget on August 27, right in this room at 8:30 a.m. And the budget is online. It is available at www.kentcountymi.gov. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Al. I think we're going to go for, we're going to have an opportunity for public comment as part of the public hearing, and then we'll have an opportunity for if there's any discussion or questions among commissioners. Because we have other opportunities for public comments today, I will be limiting to 1 minute and 30 seconds for the public hearing only, and then we'll go back to 3 minutes normal for the rest of it. So is there any public comment related to the budget in particular? Please give us your name and address. You have up to 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Greetings, Chairman Green and Commissioners. My name is Daniel Scott. Longtime resident of the county, of course, and my real identity is I'm a follower of the Lord Jesus Christ. I would appeal to you once again that no funds, and I understand at this point, no funds are going to planned genocide. The place at 425 East Cherry, where on the average 100 beautiful babies are murdered every week. Also, that the money would not go to Corewell or Metro hospitals, where they have departments within their hospitals murdering babies. And as I've done before, I appeal to you, I see there is some debt. I just appeal to you that the county would stay out of debt, because that's what the scriptures say. The borrower becomes servant to the lender. I wish I had more time to express my feelings about the money going to the GRPS. I was at their meeting last night where they're searching for a new superintendent. And the trouble they have, it's all because of policy. And I wish we didn't fund GRPS like the county does, but that's my appeal.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment related to the budget hearing? Good morning.
My name's Shannon Tanis, displaced in Kent County. I'm highly concerned about the integrity of the money that is being facilitated to the courts and the clerks regarding the record. It's come to our attention that we have lots of evidence regarding the manipulation of the Register of Actions and backdating of orders and motions and things that are not in conjunction with the court rules. So I'm giving an official notice right now that we plan on doing litigation regarding these issues and taking SCOTA to Court of Claims regarding these. And the court is already aware, and we're working in real time, realizing and addressing these issues right now. But it is not a good thing when you break the public's trust regarding just the record. As record keepers, it is the highest integrity of the public to have within their public body to be able to trust the truth of what's being put on the record. And when those things are being manipulated by the people that are revenue collectors for their retirement fund of the tune of $9 million for the judiciary each year, and they're in control of that, I think we have a big conflict of interest going on. So I would ask the body to pause and really think about this funding.
Thank you. Anyone else? Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Brandy Ritzma. I'm a resident in Kentwood, Michigan. The Register of Actions is not a formality. It is the foundation of every case in this court. It's the record the public, the parties, appellate courts, and federal agencies rely on to trust that what happened, happened. And that what a judge ordered is what actually is being enforced. When that record can be altered, entries can disappear or reappear as something else, and no one at the counter can explain why. Nobody that you call can explain why. The integrity of that foundation is destroyed. Once that record itself can't be trusted, nothing built on top of it, orders, enforcement actions, appeals, they can't be trusted either. Clerks hold a duty of custodianship over that record, and that duty isn't clerical, it's constitutional. Due process depends on an accurate, tamper-evident record, and any gap in that duty is not a technicality, it's a breach of public trust. The same is true for court appointments when attorneys are being appointed as in a position of trust that is grossly misused as guardian ad litems. Falsified records and one-sided advocacy dressed up as neutral representation. That harm isn't confined to a single case. It corrodes public confidence in every appointment this court makes moving forward. And it's being used to misallocate federal funds with Social Security and in your families in Kent County.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment for the budget public hearing? Okay, I see none. We will have an opportunity quickly for questions or discussion among the board for the administrator on the budget. Commissioner Pakla.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Al, I just had a quick question. We had a line item up there that said childcare, $40 million. And I just wanted to clarify, that's not childcare in the same sense that we think of early childhood education or daycare or anything. That's something totally different. Based on what I'm seeing in the budget, that's related to delinquent juveniles and...
It's part of the child care budget in the courts, in the circuit court.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have we always called it childcare? It struck me as a little bit confusing given the conversation that we're having, or given the report that we're receiving later today.
That's how we've always referred to it. I'd have to go look at documents to see if we've always put it that way in a document, but that's how it's referred to in the law, and that's the fund in the budget that we put all the money we get from the state for childcare into.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Commissioner Ponson.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. So looking at the budget, I mean, everything's there. It's balanced. County revenues are growing. How we spend it is growing. And I think when I got home from vacation, I had the opportunity to watch the previous meeting, and there was a lot of interesting things that have said, and it was always that, you know, if the millage is going to fail for the corrections, is the cuts that we'll have to make here. And that's the truth. I mean, we're funded by taxpayers. You know, I heard one of the commissioners saying that that'd be a very difficult task. Well, in the 80s, when schools went through one of the largest recessions where we had automotive plants and suppliers closing down shop, billboards were up on the border stating, last person out of Michigan, please turn out the lights. I mean, they are difficult times, but it's also a time to, maybe it's time we reflect on what is the role of county government. When we have all these enhancement millages, it basically grows the size and scope of government. It pushes the cost from the general fund off to a millage. And when that millage fails, somehow the general fund is going to be negatively affected. But we never ask the question, is that a viable way to fund, in this case, corrections is what you were talking about. And, yeah, it is difficult, but, you know, we've got to maybe take time out in the next few months and even next year of, you know, what is the role of government? You know, we seem to, the kind of I didn't get it directly, but the feeling that, you know, it was a partisan issue. But, you know, what we lost scope of was the state of Michigan. I mean, when they had a fiscal crisis, when it came to the jails, they started sending their prisoners because they didn't have the staff, they didn't have the ability to do it, and sent them to the county and said, well, we'll reimburse you if you take them. But the reimbursement was maybe $50, and then they really didn't even pay that, where it cost us $100. And the ongoing constant is the unfunded mandates that we have to deal with from the state of Michigan. But I didn't hear one commissioner talk about that fact. That is the state of Michigan partnership. I mean, you know, in the jail, and I hate to keep pounding on that, but that's the most recent in people's mind, is that, you know, a lot of the people in those jails are for violations that the state of Michigan came up with rules and laws and we have to deal with. And I won't even bring up the courts. One of the biggest unfunded mandates, I've always advocated that, you know, why doesn't the state take back the courts and we'll give up, you know, revenue sharing? And I think we'd win out on that. But, you know, we've got to have a talk of not just do we want to raise millages or taxes, sometimes it's needed. But I think we need a hard look at, in this county, is what is the scope and role of county government? Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anybody else from the board? Commissioner DeBoer.
Thank you, Chair. I know this is a probably hard thing to try to get good data on, but it would be interesting to see, you know, like for our health department, how much of that is actually coming from grant revenue instead of coming from like the general fund dollars or from property tax or from some of that. I mean, I know we put a lot of our general budget into our sheriff's department and from our property tax, which is warranted, but it would be interesting to see just what % of each department is actually coming from tax revenue and what is coming more from intergovernmental or other grants.
That actually will be fairly easy to do for the health department.
Okay.
But there are areas where we simply don't parse it that way. We get general, like state revenue sharing, we don't allocate to different budgets, like equalization or something like that. But certainly where we have mandates from the health department and we have revenue to fund some of the mandates in the health department, we can show how we net that out and do transfer in dollars from the general fund. So we'll start with that.
Okay.
And we'll see if there's any other areas that seem like they could function that way, so we could provide that information too. But that one comes to mind as one that I think we can do fairly easily.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else? All right, I see none. A motion would be in order to close the public hearing. May I please have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Teal, supported by Commissioner Sparks. Questions, comments, discussion? I see none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. The public hearing is closed. And we will have, we're planning to have action, as Al mentioned, from the Finance Committee and then the Board of Commissioners on the budget later this month. All right, we'll move on to agenda item number 6, public comment related to agenda action items. Is there anyone who would wish to speak to an agenda action item this morning? All right, I see none. Thank you. We'll move to agenda item number 7, which is the consent agenda. I'll call on Commissioner Morse.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Supported by Vice Chair Teal. Questions, comments, discussion? I see none. This is a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the motion to adopt the consent agenda, Commissioners Bujak.
Yes.
Burl. DeBoer. Minority Vice Chair Faber. Commissioners Halsted. Hennessy. Hildenbrand.
Yes.
Coleman. LeGrand.
Yes.
McLeod.
Yes.
Merchant. Morales. Morse. Oliver King.
Yes.
Pakla. Ponstein. Sparks. Steck.
Yes.
Vice Chair Teal.
Yes.
Commissioner Womack.
Yes.
Chair Green.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. The consent agenda is adopted.
Thank you. We will move on to agenda item number 8, which is resolutions. And for 8A, I will call on Commissioner Hildebrand.
Thank you, Chair. I move Resolution 71 of today's date, the 2027 Management Pay Plan pay changes.
Thank you. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Pakla. Hildebrand tried to support his own motion.
I really want to double down on that one.
They might allow that under Masons, but not here under Roberts. All right, questions, comments, discussion on Resolution 8A. All right, I see none. This is a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 71, Commissioners Bujak.
Yes.
Burl. DeBoer. Minority Vice Chair Faber. Commissioners Halsted. Hennessy. Hildenbrand.
Yes.
Coleman. LeGrand.
Yes.
McLeod.
Yes.
Merchant. Morales. Morse. Oliver King. Pakla. Ponstein. Sparks. Steck.
Yes.
Vice Chair Teal. Commissioner Womack.
Yes.
Chair Green.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 71 is adopted.
Thank you. We'll continue on the order of resolutions, and I'll call again on Commissioner Hildebrand.
Thank you, Chair. I move Resolution 72 of today's date, the 2027 wage increase for the Kent County Prosecuting Attorney Association.
There's support from someone that's not Dave. Supported by Commissioner Burl. Questions, comments, discussion on this item? Commissioner Ponstein.
Well, I'll just loop in like the next 6.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, or 7 or 8, looking at this. So, yeah, it's nice to live in a county where the governmental unit and then the associations representing our employees seem to get along in a reasonable way to come to a conclusion on what a fair for both sides is. So I remember the days on a school board where we'd have protesters from the teachers union calling us unfair. So appreciation to all the staff that work on negotiating these, the department heads. And it's nice to know that we can get through this and continue for the best interests of the communities that we serve. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll echo that. Kudos to the staff at the county and the labor representatives from all our staff. We appreciate the fair and open process. Any other questions, comments, discussion on this item? All right, I see none. This is again a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 72, Commissioners Bujak. Burl.
Yes.
DeBoer. Minority Vice Chair Faber.
Yes.
Commissioners Halsted. Hennessy. Hildenbrand.
Yes.
Coleman. LeGrand. McLeod.
Yes.
Merchant. Morales. Morse. Oliver King. Pakla. Ponstein. Sparks. Steck.
Yes.
Vice Chair Teal. Commissioner Womack.
Yes.
Chair Green.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 72 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will move to item 8C, and I will call on Commissioner Sparks.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move Resolution 73 of today's date, 2027-28, wage increases, Technical Professional and Office Workers Association of Michigan Courts.
Thank you. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner LeGrand. Questions, comments, discussion on this item? I see none. This is again a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 73, Commissioners Boojak. Burl.
Yes.
DeBoer. Minority Vice Chair Faber. Commissioners Halsted. Hennessy. Hildenbrand.
Yes.
Coleman. LeGrand. McLeod.
Yes.
Merchant. Morales. Morse. Oliver King. Pakla. Ponstein. Sparks. Steck.
Yes.
Vice Chair Teal. Commissioner Womack.
Yes.
Chair Green.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 73 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll move to item 8D, and I will call on Commissioner Womack.
I'd like to move Resolution 74, today's date, 2027 wage increase, Circuit Court Referee Association.
Thank you. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner LeGrand. Questions, comments, discussion on this item? I see none. This is a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion passes. The resolution is adopted. We'll move to agenda item 8E, and I will call on Commissioner Sparks.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move Resolution 75 of today's date, 2027 wage increase for the Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council.
Thank you. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Burl. Questions, comments, discussion on this item? I see none. This is, again, a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 75, Commissioners Boojak. Burl. DeBoer. Minority Vice Chair Faber. Commissioners Halsted. Hennessy. Hildenbrand.
Yes.
Coleman. LeGrand. McLeod. Merchant. Morales. Morse. Oliver King. Pakla. Ponstein. Sparks. Steck.
Yes.
Vice Chair Teal. Commissioner Womack.
Yes.
Chair Green.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 75 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll move to agenda item 8F, and I will again call on Commissioner Womack.
I'd like to move Resolution 76 of today's date, 2027-2028, wage increases, Teamsters, nurses.
Thank you. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Sparks. Questions, comments, discussion on this item? I see none. This is, again, a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 76, Commissioners Boojak.
Yes.
Burl. DeBoer. Minority Vice Chair Faber. Commissioners Halsted. Hennessy. Hildenbrand.
Yes.
Coleman. LeGrand. McLeod.
Yes.
Merchant. Morales. Morse. Oliver King. Pakla. Ponstein. Sparks. Steck.
Yes.
Vice Chair Teal. Commissioner Womack.
Yes.
Chair Green.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 76 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll move to agenda item 8G, and I will again call on Commissioner Sparks.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move Resolution 77 of today's date, 2027 wage increase for the Teamsters State, County, and Municipal Workers Local 214 Parks.
Thank you. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Oliver King. Questions, comments, discussion on this item? I see none. This is a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. The resolution is adopted. We'll move to agenda item 8F, and I will again call on Commissioner Hildebrand.
8H.
H, I'm sorry. H is in Hildebrand.
Thank you, Chair. I move Resolution 78 of today's date, the 2027 wage increase for Police Officers Labor Council, captains and lieutenants.
Thank you. Is there support? Support. Supported by Commissioner Morse. Questions, comments, discussion on this item? I see none. This is a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 78, Commissioners Bujac.
Yes.
Burl.
Yes.
DeBoer. Minority Vice Chair Faber.
Yes.
Commissioners Halsted.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Hildenbrand.
Yes.
Coleman. LeGrand.
Yes.
McLeod.
Yes.
Merchant. Morales. Morse. Oliver King.
Yes.
Pakla. Ponstein. Sparks. Steck.
Yes.
Vice Chair Teal. Commissioner Womack.
Yes.
Chair Green.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 78 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll move to agenda item 8I, and I will call on Commissioner Womack.
I'd like to move Resolution 79 of today's date, 2027-28, wage increases, United Auto Workers, Local 2600.
Thank you. Is there support? I think I heard Sparks first. Supported by Commissioner Sparks. Questions, comments, discussion on this item? I see none. This is a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 79er, Commissioners Bujac.
Yes.
Burl. DeBoer. Minority Vice Chair Faber. Commissioners Halsted. Hennessy. Hildenbrand.
Yes.
Coleman. LeGrand. McLeod.
Yes.
Merchant. Morales. Morse. Oliver King. Pakla.
Yes.
Ponstein. Sparks. Steck.
Yes.
Vice Chair Teal. Commissioner Womack.
Yes.
Chair Green.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 79er is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will move on to item 8J, and I will call on Commissioner Halsted.
Thank you, Chair. I move to adopt Resolution 80, the fiscal year 26 Quality Legal Guardian Ad Litem Grant Budget Amendment.
Thank you. Is there support? Supported by Vice Chair Teal. Questions, comments, discussion on this item? Commissioner, Vice Chair Faber.
Thank you. I'm sorry. So it sounds like we burned through our initial allocation by January, and then this gets us through September. Is this sort of normal that we have these kind of amendments based on availability of funds, or this feels like a systemic problem more than just kind of an opportunity?
Yeah, this fund, for as long as I've been here, we pay for the budget for representation in neglect abuse cases. Delinquency cases and neglect abuse cases combined for about a little over $3 million that we pay. So the state has recently started to basically give the counties money to support some of this through the 4E reimbursement process for the federal government. Something, in my opinion, probably should have been going on for a long time, but it's more of a recent thing. So as funds come available, they're giving it to us. These go to a little bit of enhancement in services as far as, part of it is to give attorneys a bit of a raise because of, the MIDC, just kind of to try and keep up with some of the criminal defense that we're seeing. But also a little bit of extra training for the staff, and now we're paying for a few extra events where they, are more involved with the kids' case.
Andy, while you're on the podium, can you introduce yourself for the
Andy,
public and for the record?
Yep, Andy Thalhammer. I'm the 17th Circuit Court Administrator.
Thank you.
So these funds are not necessarily necessary for the core service that we're providing. They're more of an enhancement to.
I would say that,
okay.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Anyone else? Questions, comments, discussion? Commissioner McLeod.
Thank you, Chair. So one of my questions was already answered. Thank you for that. But I did wonder, in the budget, it's explained that these are legal fees, and so you said some of it is going to support an increase in payment for the attorneys. But is there any sort of specific allocation that goes, like, for where it's going to help us be able to support 100 more kids, or is it allocated in that way at all, where we could reference it back to the number of kids that are being represented in the courts?
It's not really. To my knowledge, I believe what they do is, again, these grants come available, we apply for them as far as what we're going to do. And again, in ours, it's to increase the payment to the attorneys, some training, and also, again, we're paying for more events now than we used to. We do a kind of an event payment schedule. So if it's an adjudication hearing, the attorney that represents the youth or family gets a certain amount of money. If it's a review hearing, it's a certain amount. That's how we do it. So basically, there's a few events like, family team meetings that in the past we didn't pay attorneys to go to. Now we do.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else? Commissioner Steck.
Thank you, Chair Green. So Andy, how much of our funds, whether it's the original 200 or so or this, do we spend on training? Is it training the guardian ad litem?
Correct, yeah. And it was, this year, I don't know if we did a big training. The previous fiscal year, I couldn't tell you exactly what it was, but basically we had some people come in from the National Center to do some best practice for these types of cases that we invited all our attorneys to, actually required most of our attorneys to come and paid for their time to be there. So I can get you that number, but I don't know how much it was.
Okay. And the guardian ad litem, now, these are typically attorneys.
Correct.
Practicing, licensed practice attorneys.
Correct.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Two people get excited when we have Latin in here. It's lawyers and Roman Catholics like me, so ad litem. All right, anybody else now? Okay, I see none. This is a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 80, Commissioners Bujak. Yes. Burl. Yes. DeBoer. Yes. Minority Vice Chair Faber. Yes. Commissioners Halsted. Yes. Hennessy. Yes. Hildenbrand. Yes. Coleman. LeGrand. Yes. McLeod. Yes. Merchant. Morales. Yes. Morse. Yes. Oliver King. Yes. Pekla. Yes. Ponstein. Yes. Sparks. Yes. Steck. Yes. Vice Chair Teal. Yes. Commissioner Womack. Yes. Chair Green.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 80 is adopted.
Thank you. We'll move to item 8K, and I will again call on Commissioner Hildebrand.
Thank you, Chair. I move Resolution 81 of today's date, the Duncan Lake Inter-County Drainage District Bond Series 2026.
Thank you. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Bujak. Questions, comments, or discussion on this item? I see none. This is, again, a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 81, Commissioners Bujak. Yes. Burl. Yes. DeBoer. Yes. Minority Vice Chair Faber.
Yes.
Commissioners Halsted. Yes. Hennessy. Yes. Hildenbrand.
Yes.
Coleman. LeGrand. Yes. McLeod.
Yes.
Merchant. Morales. Yes. Morse. Yes. Oliver King. Yes. Pekla. Yes. Ponstein. Yes. Sparks. Yes. Steck. Yes. Vice Chair Teal.
Yes.
Commissioner Womack. Yes. Chair Green.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 81 is adopted.
Thank you. We'll move to agenda item 8L, and I will again call on Commissioner Hildebrand.
Thank you, Chair. I move Resolution 82 of today's date, the Capital Improvement Program Policy.
Thank you. Supported by Vice Chair Teal. Questions, comments, discussion on this item? Commissioner Hennessy.
We're only talking a change of 1/10 of a mil, and understanding that, I have a couple of why questions. Like, why are, the current policy allows flexibility to go above 0.2 mils. So why are we, putting it in black and white that it'll be a minimum of 0.3 mils? But it also ties into, why do we have this caveat that this proposal only goes into effect if the Sheriff's Department millage passes? What is the relationship there?
Sure.
I think the intent of doing it now contingent on the millage passing was to signal to voters the importance of investing in capital improvements. I think that, yes, the board could change that at any time. That would take some different budget thinking if we were to do it outside of the millage being renewed and expanded. And so that obviously is something the board would need to decide when they want to take it up. But we would certainly want to take another run at our budget numbers in the event the board decided to increase that number and without additional resources to fund that specifically.
Commissioner, just speaking for myself, I would be very much open to considering that policy change independent of the millage. So that just to put that out there for. in response to your question.
Well, the way I read the policy, it allows the flexibility that a budget can be presented to us at .3 as opposed to, .2 or .22 or .23, which we often have variances as it is. I'm just wondering why. I mean, this sort of puts a little bit of golden handcuffs on us when it comes to budget planning because we'll already have it set, and it's only 1/10 of a mil, but still it'll be set at that level. And you have unexpected things come through. So I'm just like, why is it necessary?
All right, Commissioner Hildebrand.
Well, I'll just say, I support, the resolution, and part of the reason was we're asking for an increase in the millage for the sheriff's department and the jail. And I think it signals that the extra money, if the voters approve this in November, we're not using it to necessarily grow county government in more of the program area. I support it because I think the capital needs are there, and they're one-time expenditures, and so it's a signal that we're not growing the programming of county government. We're investing in one-time capital improvements that are very much needed in the county-owned assets.
Thank you, Commissioner. Others? Commissioner LeGrand.
Thank you, Chair. So 2 questions. One, Al, you said that this was going to be a way of communicating with the voters, so I'm wondering how is this decision going to be communicated, one? And then if this is only a one-time thing related to this millage, I mean, presumably it's going to go on in perpetuity, correct? It's not a one-time thing related to this millage?
That's obviously a decision the board can make at any time. We've been able to live within the 0.2 or 0.22 or whatever the board has settled on it in a particular year. But I think this signifies an increased commitment to our capital improvement. I mean, we have a robust system for how we recommend spending those dollars. Certainly there's things we could do earlier, but as a county, we've done a very good job of meeting our needs. You read about counties that have leaky roofs in their courthouse or unmowed lawns, or we're able to keep everything maintained to a high standard each and every year, and that involves a process where our department heads and elected officials that are responsible for budgets that have a lot of capital come together and work that out as part of the CIP team that makes a recommendation to the county administrator controller and ultimately to the Board of Commissioners. So I think that the reasons I heard for this were that we want to let the public know that the board does plan to invest greater funds into capital in the future, which is something you could do at any point in time. But that's the reason I heard for that. As to how it will be communicated, I think that I know the Sheriff's Department is working hard to develop frequently asked question type documents that meet the legal standard of not persuading voters to vote for the millage, but informing the public as to why the millage is needed for the jail operation. And so I'm not sure what form those communications will take, but I believe that's the intent that I have heard.
Okay, and so, sorry, one more follow-up question. So while this is for being triggered by, because of the language, the millage, the corrections millage, it's for every capital improvement countywide?
It could, any capital improvement countywide could be eligible, correct?
Could be eligible, but what?
I mean, it would apply to the total, yes.
Yes.
The 0.2 and then the 0.3, it's to fund the CIP regardless of which department or area.
That's what I was asking. Okay, thank you.
Others? Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Pacla, you were in line.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Al, I think we asked this question in finance, but can you remind us what the difference is between 0.2 mils and 0.3 mils in actual dollars relative to this year's CIP plan?
I believe that was 3.72. Okay. 3,772,000.
And then the follow-up question I have to that is, we resolved to ask the voters to increase the corrections millage, but these dollars associated with this particular agenda item are not related to that millage at all, other than being triggered by it, right? The dollars coming in from that millage are not general fund dollars. And this agenda item says that we're specifically talking about general property tax levy. So this is out of the 4.0 mills, a general property tax that we, is that correct?
What happens is the special millage goes into the general fund to pay for corrections, because again, it only pays for about half of the correction budget costs. So 100% of the millage dollars go to support corrections. And so that's why the CIP would pay for the improvements to the jail, and any debt necessary would also come out of the CIP for those improvements to the jail. It would be a different conversation if the jail millage paid for 100% of the costs, and there would be a need to be very careful in how every dollar is parsed out and all that. But here, we guarantee that every single dollar gets paid for by putting it in the general fund, and the fact that the jail expense is double the millage, it's literally paid for by the general fund with the special millage, 100% on deck and paying for that expense.
I think the question I'm trying to understand, though, is the language in the resolution says not less than 0.3 mils of the general property tax levy. So I'm just trying to think about this, you know, it's not quite a shell game because there's not malintent, but how are we figuring out the dollars coming in that are supporting CIP from other millages, from special millages, funding this particular portion when it says that our policy says that it's general property tax levy?
I don't have an answer for that at the moment, but I will get you one.
But it is in theory possible that if there were not capital improvements coming from the corrections millage, if there were not capital improvements done at the corrections facility or within the sheriff's department, that we would not have a reimbursement associated with this particular capital improvement policy, and therefore it would just be coming out of the straight up general tax levy.
I mean, yes, if the total expense exceeded the amount that we spend out of the combined special assessment revenue and general fund, then yes, anything above that special assessment, the special revenue, the special tax, comes out of the general fund levy and the CIP fund. Those are the two sources that would fund the expenses at the jail. It's the special revenue that goes into the general fund, therefore the general fund, and then the amount that would come out of the CIP for capital improvement.
Okay.
It doesn't look like I answered your question.
I think you've answered it to the extent that we can have it right here.
All
So,
right.
yeah,
Let's
thank you.
talk afterwards, and
That sounds good.
I'll get information out on what you're looking for.
Thanks.
All right.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Thank you, Chair. I am supportive of this just because I believe it's going to save us money long-term when we put money into capital improvement, and we will have to use less resources at the time when we have improvements to make. So I'll be supporting it.
Thank you. Commissioner McLeod.
So I just wanted to circle back to Commissioner Hennessy's original question. I'm still not 100% clear why this is needed. I know I've heard some reasons why it could be helpful. If the millage doesn't pass, then we'll go back, revert to our current policy, which again allows us the option to increase the amount that we're going to use to support CIP requests. And so is there a direct answer for that question? Because we currently have the flexibility. What is the reason that we have to do this? Is it so that the additional 0.1 mills can support the corrections needs, or is it not? I just want to have a clear understanding of that before I vote.
It's dealing with the delta. So right now, you have the authority, but we don't have excess money. If the millage passes, you have both the authority and the excess money coming in. So it's setting an expectation of what will happen with extra money. While you could do it today, you don't have the extra money to allocate.
So in reality, this is to support the potential additional needs to support the millage-related expenses, right, for the jails, in theory. Okay,
Correct.
That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Others, Commissioner Steck.
Thank you, Chair Green. So I guess I have some appreciation for Commissioner Packla's attempt to walk this through, because it's not exactly clear. I worked it through last night again, how this works. If the voters do approve the millage, that will bring additional dollars in to fund the operations of the Sheriff's Department. To the extent that it does, it is still well below the overall cost of running the sheriff's department, so we're well within the limitations that would be applied because of the millage. However, it would allow for some reduction in what the general fund otherwise has to spend to support the sheriff's department operations. What this seems to me, and what I would believe and agree should do, is to declare to the public that if you do that, we're committing, we can otherwise, I get it, but we're committing that we will put an additional $3.72 million into our capital improvement fund.
Correct.
And those funds are released because we have the additional funds coming in from the millage.
Right.
I get it. Accounting 101, or is it 506? I don't remember.
And as I recall, our fiscal services director reported that there would be a net benefit or less draw on general fund of around $1 million. But when you look at the cost increases associated with the jail operation, that he said that would dissipate rather quickly over time.
Yeah, and again, I think, thank you for your response again last night, that I originally thought that there was excess funds not accounted for in here, but it's actually not the case. That
correct.
To the extent that we have additional revenues coming in, to the extent that that does take some pressure off our general fund, it is now more than being allocated into the CIP. And it's not just we could do it before, but we are declaring our formal intention to do it.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you. Others? Commissioner Morales.
I'm a visual learner, so I just want to explain it kind of the way I'm sort of understanding it in my brain. So if the corrections millage passes, like our budget is up high. So if our corrections millage passes, the pie gets a little bit bigger, and that allows us to add another cut line, basically, in the fractions that are already there. Is that kind of how that's going to work?
It allows us, if you look at our total funds budget, if it passes, it allows us to increase one of those other pieces of pie, which is the capital improvement budget.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it increases the amount that's collected for the correctional and detention facilities, and then that goes into the general fund. So it actually increases the general fund, but part of that increase from the general fund gets allocated to the capital improvement fund.
Okay.
So you really have two pieces of pie that grow in that way of thinking.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner LeGrand.
Thank you, Chair. So again, this is a countywide applying to all departments, but we're really speaking about it specific to this, to the sheriff, to the corrections millage. So is there no concern that this might come and, bite us in the back when we are dealing with some other question? Like normally, we spend a lot of time going through our CIP budget and, $3.72 million would get a lot of discussion. We're saying it's not merited here, but in the future, could we, have some automatic spend that commissioners might not be happy they didn't get a say about?
I don't believe so at all, because the commissioners are the ones that give the final approval to the capital improvement plan budget. And each year you approve a 5-year capital improvement plan, but only the first year becomes operational in the budget. So you'll be able to see every single year how those dollars are being proposed to be spent. And I should mention too, that should the millage go through, one of the first things we'll do next year is bring a motion to you to hire an architect to work on the jail facility, which will, we estimate to be about $1.5 million. And then within a fairly short order, I don't know if that's a year or within a year or what, but we're anticipating in the neighborhood of close to 50 million in improvements. And if we issue debt for that, then that would be about another $3.5 million debt payment. So all these things will begin to happen kind of on course should that millage be approved.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Commissioner, I'll go Hennessy first for a second and then Steck.
Thank you. I am beginning to understand the relationship between this capital improvement increase and its relationship to the Sheriff's Department millage passage. That's a little bit clearer from this discussion. The timing is a little, could have been a little bit later when we knew what we were really dealing with. But does this, it does still, it'll leave it open. We'll have discretion on the allocations of the capital improvement project from year to year, the 5-year projections. Are we more or less implying that the capital improvement for the sheriff will be limited to that .10?
Not at all. No, and I'll point to the fact that a few years ago, this happened at more than one jail in Michigan, but the controls became outdated on the jail doors, necessitating over $1 million in expenses to immediately fix those doors. So like I said, at Kent County, we're well-funded. Beyond the CIP, we have a strategic capital fund, and so we're able to take care of business, not only planning for those improvements that need to be made, but to react in an emergency where things break down unexplainably, and then we have to quickly act to make a facility such as the jail fully usable, and we're able to do that. So I would say that there's no attempt here to limit the capital improvement for anything by this action.
Commissioner Steck.
Thank you, Chair Green. The other issue that was just addressed is that this change probably only makes sense until the bond is approved for the new jail facility, because then we're going to need those funds for that cost.
Though we have another jail bond that will be off the books in 6 years. So it's like the circle of life, you know, things keep coming in, things keep going out, and we maintain things.
But we're not waiting 6 years, at least we're not planning on waiting 6 years. So we'll need additional funds for the bond immediately once it's approved, next year, the year after that. And then 6 years later, we can maybe look at another policy change.
Correct, or yes.
Thanks.
Anyone else? I don't see any. I'd just like to say, I think the question was, why do we need to do it? We don't need to do it. I think it's a communication. A lot of what we do here is a communication of our priorities. We've put to the ballot the consideration of asking voters residents for more of their tax dollars. I think signaling that we want to invest more of those into capital needs, reducing our long-term debt burden. I think those are some of the reasons, at least for me, that this policy makes sense. I would, again, argue that it makes sense independent of the millage, but we're taking it up in that context right now. So, all right. This is a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries. The resolution is adopted. We'll move to agenda item 8M, and I will call on Minority Vice Chair Faber.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to move Resolution 83 of today's date, Agricultural Preservation Board appointment.
Thank you. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Morse. Questions, comments, discussion on this item? I see none. This is a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. The resolution is adopted. We'll move to agenda item 8N, and I will call on Commissioner Buziak.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move resolution number 84 of today's date, motor vehicle procurement, replacement, and use policy.
Thank you. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Halstead. Questions, comments, discussion on this item? I see none. This is a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. The resolution is adopted. We'll move to agenda item number 9, which is public comment related to general county matters. If anybody wishes to address the board this morning, please give us your name and address. You have up to 3 minutes.
Good morning. My name is Brandy Ritzma. I'm a resident of Kentwood, Michigan. Going off of an earlier statement about guardian ad litem's being court-appointed, my case is not a child abuse or neglect case, yet the court has assigned with public funds from counseling funds, not from guardian ad litem funds, pointed into my case. Another thing is, we'll back up 13 years, you have a court appointment in a child abuse and neglect case, Mary Golden, an attorney, pushing falsified paperwork with CPS, and that's documented on CPS's own paperwork. Parents aren't being notified of things. We aren't being told things, and it's being used to take our Social Security federal funds without warning, without notice, and without any warranted reason to do so. Right now, the same ghost orders are being falsified to warrant taking my Social Security funds. The Register of Actions has changed. Nobody at the clerk's office and nobody in the courts can tell me why all of these things are changing. But yet it's affecting me and my children. I haven't seen my children in 648 days. It's been 648 days that I've been denied my constitutional and fundamental liberties and rights in your county. And you're funding all of these things for public appointments of these lawyers who are harming your people. And I've been sounding the alarm for over a year now, and I haven't even been reached out to and asked, what are you talking about? What information do you have? 3 minutes isn't much when you're up here. I need help. Other families in this county need your help. You have clerks lying and changing orders, lawyers working with these clerks in the courts, changing orders, and it's affecting lives. And then it's being used to allocate, to cover up for federal funds, stealing of federal funds. So you're being lied to by the courts, by the administration, by your own people. And how do you help us, we the people? Because we're the ones suffering. And I'm poor, but yet you're gonna go and have court-appointed attorneys waiving fees for my ex-husband and helping him with his narrative and lies with no proof. So narratives have now defined my life and changed my life forever. And I've been coming to all of you. Somebody, y'all have derelict of duty. You can go to oversight bodies. You can make change, regardless if you can change actual court orders. You're approving all of that funding, knowing it's damaging families. And do you know how many millions of dollars are being allocated in child and abuse and neglect cases, and it's all just falsified orders? Children are being ripped from their families.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Good morning.
Good morning, Shannon Tanis, displaced in Kent County. I've had to really learn the administrative process and the compartmentalization of funding and the actual oversight of administration of departments and agencies. And yes, this body has the power of the purse, and if that's the only thing you have, that's what you should be exercising to correct these actions that the people bring before you. When I can catch public officials using towing practices and having contracts with towing companies and salvage companies and benefiting out of their abuse of authority and knowledge of how that all works and having access and privilege to that, we got a big problem. You know, a former Judge Slavin out of Taylor District Court, Freemason buddy there and his other Freemason buddy that owed a tow company were having tons of contracts, and he was hearing the cases and a whole bunch of back stuff going on. Well, we congratulate Judge Shackelford for taking control of the court and bringing integrity over that issue. But we've got a very similar issue going on with the Kent County Sheriff's Department and tow companies here in this very county that I'm discovering and pressing upon, and that the courts don't even understand the exercise of private property with these processes and the non-consent of that, and giving us the opportunity in that process and making us aware of those and not abusing that. When the court and everyone is acting like they have a total misapplication of law and that they can just do whatever they want without notice, we got a big problem. I've also been dealing with drainage issues over down on Division towards Byron Township area where it's flooding onto Division, and people are having cars just stop working because of this flooding issue, whether it's because of downfall rate or drainage of the system or clogging or just not being maintained. But as far as the budget, I just think and see that this is just a well-operated machine that is like a sinkhole that it just keeps building and building and sucking more and more and keep going. I see no cutting. I've heard commissioners talk about looking at these cutting opportunities, but every aspect of administration from this body, I see continued sucking in of funds from the people, and everything you're working with is our money anyways. So it's like we're paying ourselves on top, paying ourselves and paying our bills and paying ours. It's just redundant. Like, we got to stop the craziness. It's insane. So I really implore and thank those who want to look at these issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment related to general county matters? Good morning.
Hello, I am Matthew. I've been living, I'm a 31-year resident of the county, and we have been, due to threats, we have been given permission to remit our address, but I'm a citizen of the county and the state, but most importantly, I'm a citizen, I'm a follower of Christ and citizen of the kingdom, and I would like to, and we speak up for the unborn, and we just had elections, and I would like to congratulate DuBois, Commissioner DuBois, being, even though you didn't win, you get to move along, and I would like to, I would just like to plead with you. Time is short, and the Lord is coming back, and if you don't know him, you will be sorry, and you will, and if you do know him, will be rejoicing. So I implore you and plead with you to become a believer, and your life will be better. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Good morning.
Greetings again. My name is still Daniel Scott. I see where the DOJ is sending voting monitors to Detroit, Lansing, and East Lansing, but not to here. I think this speaks to the integrity of your office, Mrs. Lyon, and your whole team. Yeah, the midterms are soon to be here, and as I've said before, I am not a Democrat, I am not a Republican. I vote according to the Holy Scriptures. Either righteous or wicked results are a result of all elections. All elections are spiritual. If you vote for someone who wants to murder children in the womb and now out of the womb, you are an accomplice to murder. If you vote for anti-Christian, anti-police issues, you will be held responsible for that. I want to share with you the importance of our Senate, and it will affect our county, of course, who wins between El Sayed and Mr. Rogers. Mr. Sayed has, you go to his website, he's a devout Muslim, and he's endorsed by Planned Genocide, Planned Parenthood. Because he is a devout Muslim, their book called the Quran, they actually believe in killing Jews, followers of Christ, and even sodomites, the biblical term for gay. I just have a copy right here. I was just reviewing myself. And so, he's a Muslim, but he believes, if he follows the Quran, in killing gay sodomites. Perhaps you saw the pictures of the 28 beautiful Iranian women who, because they were revolting against that evil regime, they were going to be hanged. But because they were virgins, they were raped by the Iranian soldiers because they believe the Quran teaches if a virgin dies, they go right to paradise. So before they murdered them, they had to rape them so they weren't virgins anymore. That's what al-Sayed believes. He may not admit it publicly, but he believes in Sharia law. Go to Dearborn, all the women are covered, all you can see is their eyes. That's what they would like throughout the country, throughout the state, and throughout our county.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment this morning? All right, I see none. We will move on to agenda item number 10, which is the administrator's report. Al.
Yes, just a couple quick items. I did have the pleasure of attending the Board of Public Works meeting last week and participated in a robust discussion that you'll hear more about during our upcoming work session today. Also, Commissioner Hildebrand and I are on the Experience Grand Rapids Board representing Kent County, and we had our strategic planning session up in Traverse City Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I came home early Wednesday morning for meetings. Also, just wanted to mention that today we have our second Kent County Community Fest this afternoon up at our North Kent County complex. We had north of 3,000 people attend the one in Brewer Park, our South County event. So it's a good thing to bring county government to the people. I've said many times that Kent County in a way represents the most hidden level of government because unlike city and township government who are out there delivering services on the streets every day, water, sewer, roads, curb and gutter, a lot of our services are targeted around safety net institutions such as the jail. We look at the public and mental health roles that county government plays, and so we have less direct contact with as many people. So it's just so good to see, something on the order of 40 tables set up with information and departments running out of their printed material and kids running around with their faces painted and eating food from food trucks and having a lot of fun. So I think in a way, this is a major initiative of our new engagement initiative, making Kent County your partner and not just your place. So right back to our vision as a county. Also, just wanted to mention that a few commissioners and staff toured the AYA Youth Collective facility in Grand Rapids. I thought it was a great opportunity to learn and see the impact that they're making in Kent County. So I appreciated that opportunity. And then lastly, I think not only for the group in the room, but also for the folks who are online, county government in Michigan doesn't fund public schools. So I won't say there aren't partnerships in certain areas maybe, but as far as Kent County funding the GRPS, we don't do that. So just a point of information. And that's it for today.
Okay, thank you, Al. We'll move to agenda item number 11, the report from the chair. First, we have the Kent County Child Care Task Force report. I believe it was on your desks, if not in your mailbox. We will receive and file that report as the Board of Commissioners, and look forward to further discussion on that. I'd also, under the chair's report, like to give an opportunity to our county clerk and register to give us just a quick debrief on the August primary elections.
Sure, Mr. Chair. Very quickly, just want to give a snapshot for what we saw in Kent County. In the primary election, we had 32% voter turnout total, and of that, we have just over 530,000 eligible registered voters for this election. We issued 282 absentee ballots and had 69% of those returned. We had a total voters of 170,469, and again, we're still in the canvass, so that those numbers may change just a little bit, but generally speaking, 52% of county voters cast their ballots via absentee, 42% went to the polls on election day, and 6% utilized early voting. I do expect to see that early voting number jump exponentially for the November election. But we are wrapping up the canvas within, we're meeting today, and we'll either wrap up sometime the end today or tomorrow, but we will have our canvas concluded by the statutory requirement 14 days after the election.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We know that the races themselves are quite eventful. We appreciate that the work that you guys do and our other local clerks to make these run smoothly are uneventful and predictable, so thank you.
We like boring elections.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Thank you very much. That's all for the chair's report. Are there any commissioner comments this morning? Commissioner Ponstein.
I kind of wish I was at the last meeting. There was a lot of leeway given to the times, but I've just got a couple things really quick. So thank you, Lisa. The elections, I mean, that's one of the most important things we do in this country. So I just want to circle back. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I think the decision to put the millage forward was the correct one. In all my years in public service, I've seen a lot of millages, and one of the key things is don't give them a reason to vote no. And the one thing that was taken back watching the video was the statement that if this fails, the harm will be done to the 6 cities. The jail is a county asset. We're responsible. I mean, let's not forget those 6 cities who joined with the county to bring us a countywide dispatch and funded that. And prior to that, where I know Walker and Granville combined first, and then Wyoming joined us. So those are all important. It was the 6 cities that came together to make the waste-to-energy facility possible by having our residents pay between 30% and 40% higher rates than the outlying townships. A lot of the smaller cities and some of the larger have their own court system, saving the county money. We pay a surcharge on people that we arrest in our community that may come from other communities in the surcharge to the jail. So, I mean, not to mention the mutual aid agreements where our fire and police will come and assist in an emergency. So to put on the table that the retaliation for a no vote is going to be retaliation against the 6 cities is just wrong. And I'm like a big, wow, where did that come from? We've been blessed with the 6 cities that surround and benefit the county and all the residents. So finally, I was at the, I'll kind of cheer people up here. I was at the NACO conference. A lot of times I sit on 2 of the standing committees and one of the commission's leadership roles, so it's tough to get away, but there's a lot of things that I do at these conferences that have nothing to do with the conference. I had an opportunity to tour the flood system in New Orleans, which is interesting, but what's more interesting is to listen to the employees that were in that crisis at that time and how they responded and the effects that they had. The other thing I did is there's a nonprofit in New Orleans that I've supported for years, and I had an opportunity to host a little luncheon at Cafe Reconcile, which is a 503c nonprofit for at-risk kids. And I've seen a lot of programs at other counties, and everyone's have program for at-risk kids. But these guys do it like no one else. And I just wanted to thank Jenny James, who took time out to spend an afternoon lunch with me and to see the things that I've seen in that and what's possible. And you find that by talking to other county officials on the best practices, and that's one of the best ones out that I've seen. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. You get a lot of leeway. We turned the alarm off, but we're not going to give it to others, so just so you know today. All right. Anyone else for Commissioner comments? All right. I see none. I do want to also thank, I think I mentioned this before, but the folks that helped make the presence at the youth fair happen. was a nice event that we did out there, and congrats to all the kids that their hard work paid off last week. We will have a work session on the Department of Public Works. Let's plan to start that at 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. With that, we'll move to agenda item number 13, which is adjournment. I'll call on Commissioner Morse.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move to adjourn, subject to the call of the chair, to Thursday, August 27th at 8:30 a.m. for an official meeting.
Thank you. Is there support? Support. Supported by Commissioner Oliver King. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned.